No. So the first thing we said was you have two different sets of clients within Goodnight University. You have the people who've already done Reiki, who are ready to go into your year-long mentorship. You're talking about that being $7,500 for the year. And in that, you do not talk to them about it's $200 an hour. You just basically say, for $7,500, you get a weekly group Reiki session with everybody else. I'll actually be doing Reiki with you. Part of that is you keep realigning them. And part of that is you're modeling for them. And then the other thing is they're getting once a week, they get an individual call with you. And on that call, so the group call is more general, big ideas, but the weekly call, individual weekly call, is where you're doing the one-on-one, helping that person to transition the Reiki skills into their whatever work they're being called to do, whether it is to hang out the Reiki shingle or it is to integrate Reiki into the work that they're already called to do, so that that work is of the highest caliber. It's $7,500. It's if you pay in full, if you pay in full, it's $5,000. Ultimately, you'd like that to be paid off by the first 6 months, but you have to decide how you're going to do that, and you may slide that in the first couple times you offer it, just to get people in, because what you want to do, Sophia, is get social proof that this is actually wanted and needed. So you're doing a little bit of a beta test here. I wouldn't say that to them. Just say that, this is the first time you're offering it, so you're going to give some additional options or discounts for people.
Okay.
So that would be people like Nancy, Joan, Mary, Roya, Jennifer, maybe Elaine. And then there's a second level, which is you're going to let people know more generally within Goodnight University that if you're at a place where you feel like the lessons are really integrating solidly in your life, you're participating in the missions, and you want to do something more to connect that to your life, having Reiki certifications does that, because it is a even though it's still a healing art and it's a little more esoteric than general medicine, it's more something that people will recognize and know what it is. So it lets them practice the wisdom teachings under the umbrella of Reiki, in a way that they can market and can actually sell as a business strategy, either something that they do as a Reiki practitioner, or they can infuse Reiki into the work they do.
Okay.
And secondarily, you want to be thinking about a new group of clients that are out there, potentially like doctors and nurses, since you saw the Mayo Clinic thing. So maybe doing a test where you put a flyer out at the hospital, or you reach out to some doctors and invite them. I mean, those organic ways of marketing to people are really powerful in the beginning. Before we would do any kind of a Facebook or advertising campaign, we want to get a solid foundation of clients who have been through this, who've done the week long or chunks of the week long. And the cool thing is, if you offer this 4 times a year, what I was hearing was you offer the retreat week 4 times a year, you get it on your calendar now so that you can put it up on your website. So that website I sent you, of those people in Glastonbury, they've got the list of all of their retreats for 2020 up.
Gotcha.
So that people can, like in Goodnight University, people have to generate the revenue and say, like, or set aside the time. I'm coming at this time, and I know when I come to the castle, I'm going to be staying at this hotel. This is our, we always use this hotel. It's super easy to get there. There are lots of activities that I can do related to being there. I can go into DC, I can go to Baltimore, I can go in on the metro to the museums in the evening, blah, 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 blah. I mean, that's part of why that hotel is great, because they'll take you to the metro. You can rent a car to go to Baltimore, to go to DC if you want to. If you do it 4 times a year, actually, if you're doing it in October, that maps against something that I'm planning to do pretty well, and I'll tell you what the other 4 are. So if you do your Reiki retreat in October, then you need to do one in January,
Okay.
do one in April, And then I don't know how you manage doing one in July with camp running, but maybe you can.
Well, maybe I can back it up.
Or maybe you can do it in August, right after camp is over. If you do
Yeah.
August, then what you want to do is do no. I mean, in this year you can do October, but you want to do it every quarter. So you want to give yourself 2 months in between, or two
Yeah.
and a half months in between. So could be like August, November, February, and May.
Okay.
But you go ahead and you get those on your schedule. You look at your schedule, you book those in, you map them, you put them up on your website, and then anytime you have a chance to talk about it, you do. So if October's not going to work for you, no worries, because February's dates are on the book already, or May.
Right.
You have that, it's there. I don't like doing the scarcity thing, but you do actually truly have a scarcity thing in the sense of you need to make a decision about how many people you want to accommodate, and then that's it. Like, you'll have to do the next session. The space can hold a certain number of people. So, like, for
Right.
me, I'm going to continue to run the micro school builders gathering, but I will cap it at 12 people because that's all that can sit at the round table.
Okay.
And what that will do is it'll get people to commit earlier, and it'll keep the quality really high.
Okay.
So you can do that, and then start to organically advertise out to new clientele. So doctors. And the other thing that I was going to tell you that I'm willing to do, Elaine has said she'll do it for you as well. We both have audiences that might be interested in coming to do that. So once you have a flyer that says, we're going to do it in October, but you might even want to have the flyer say you have, there's a week, and during this week, there's no prices on it. It's just, we do this week, and during the week, if you're just getting started, you can do Reiki 1 and 2. We also offer ART, and we also offer Reiki Master. So it all happens during the same week. So if you do some of it in October, then you can come back in February and you can come back in May. By special permission of you, you can do more of it in one go. It's only with permission of you, like permission of the instructor. So that requires an individual call with you. I mean, when you think about it, you only let me do it because you knew me.
Right.
I had your special permission to do all 5 at the same time because you knew
Right.
energetically I could handle it. You're assessing people for their capacity.
Okay.
But I'm happy to, within Micro School Builders, I'm happy to say if any of you want to add this to your training skills, because frankly, your kids are going to want to need it. You want to be able to do Reiki with your kids. You can train with Sophia, either on site or remotely.
Right.
Elaine will share it within her circle of clients as well, because she's not a Reiki master yet. She can't do what you can do.
Right.
I mean, so you're basically the master teacher
Okay.
now training people at various levels, adding in remote, but mapping it out on a calendar so that you can market it. And then I think it'll help you too, because it's gonna create this stability of every quarter you're gonna take into $10,000 to $20,000.
Yeah.
And then after that event, you're gonna take in another few people into your mastermind.
Right. Yeah, that would be awesome.
And so in between, all you're doing is teaching. All you're doing, it's not just all, but you're facilitating Goodnight University one. I mean, I think at some point you need to give that away.
At some
Joan,
point, what? Say that again. You out.
oh, that somebody not give it away. It's probably why they blanked it. You need to pass that responsibility on to somebody else.
Well, I'm after this first cycle. I'm going to probably take have applications for teaching assistants. Um, see, and then test them out. I mean, it might even happen towards the end of this cycle to see who can teach with me. You know what I mean?
Well, so
Um,
you might even do something like with a Joan. Joan hasn't done anything with her Reiki, um, but she's pretty grounded, and she needs some income. So you might offer Joan the ability to come in, like I did with Amy. You might offer Joan the ability to come into your mastermind,
right.
but have to provide service back. And you could create a contract for her that says, you have to give $7,500 worth of services into Goodnight University to help me manage that. And here's what
Yeah.
that looks like. You know,
Right.
you're going to read all of the essays and pull out the pieces that I need to focus on.
Right.
You're going to,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, like that alone. And she could totally do that, right?
Yeah.
And she could do
Totally.
that. She could barter that for you, and she has the lens to tell you which ones to call on each week.
Totally.
And you
Totally.
could gift her back being a member of your mastermind.
True. Yeah, that's
And,
totally
yeah, and you don't
doable.
have to tell everybody you're doing that. Like, very few people know that Amy. What I would do if I were you is get Joan to pay you something. So tell her the mastermind is $7,500 and ask her what she can pay. And then she
Okay.
pays you that. And then you write a contract with her that says, and I can send you my contract with Amy and Leah that you can see. And you can just strip it
Okay.
out and change it.
All right. That's cool.
I know we've done a lot, but the main thing was I wanted you to see that, like, it's absolutely, the Reiki has always been the way that you can generate the money that you need.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and because you can teach it online and face to face, you only have to commit to those 4 weeks to generate the people into the back end, which is going to make more money.
Okay. Cool.
And most of the
Awesome.
back end is served virtually. It's just basically giving people access to you, more access to you, which they actually want, if you think about it. Hey, are you doing
Right.
calls
It's
tonight?
true. And it'll feel more personal.
Well, yeah, you don't want to
What?
just give random access to you, because then they don't do a damn thing with it. If it has this focus of, we're going to take what you've learned in Goodnight University plus the Reiki and figure we're going to work through, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
You'll probably get things like, you'll get a download that'll tell you something like, this week everybody has to go out and offer Reiki to someone and intend that the person is going to give them a gift in return, so that they see a transaction of money.
Right.
And or they have to sit with, how much is this worth, and talk to 3 friends and say, if I were to offer to do Reiki on you, what would you pay for that, or whatever. So
Cool. This is awesome. So can you like upload this somewhere and then let me see it?
yeah. So
Great
the
detail
the
on
the
all.
big
So,
things you want to do is map out that once a quarter, for yourself. Map out what that looks like, where you're going to situate that. I think if you could come up with a generic flyer for Reiki, for the Reiki week, that basically says, on Reiki week there are multiple options, for the novice to the master. This is who this is for. I wouldn't give a whole lot of detail. I'd just say Reiki 1 and 2 is for the beginner who wants to heal themselves, heal themselves, and think about helping others. ART is for the person who's ready to step it up, and masters for the person who's like, I want to turn this into a business for myself. I want to integrate this into my work, either directly as a business, or I want to make it part of how I actually do my work in the world. Um,
okay.
you can sign up for any of those, um, and at the bottom, I would footnote and say, like, um, you know, participation in the entire week is at the discretion of you.
Okay.
That way you let people know that it's possible, but it's not really advertising like, come do the whole thing in a week.
Right.
Uh,
Okay. That's
and you
cool.
have 4 times a year to do this. Don't put the prices on. People should contact you for that.
So
That
don't
let
put it on the website either.
I mean, that was Angela's wisdom, that putting your prices on your website is a way to have people not buy from you.
Okay.
Because what you want them to do is to jump on a quick call with you. I would say don't do more than 15 minutes. Just the call is to figure out what's the right thing for you and to get the price. Um,
Okay. All right.
her wisdom to this, and I have found that it's really true, is that there are a whole lot of people who just want to call and argue with you because they know that you've got something that they want, meaning
Right.
you've got the energy plugged in and you're turned on, and they're like, I
Right.
want that.
Okay.
You want to talk to a person to see if you can actually help them transform. And if you can really help them, then you tell them what it's going to cost. And what they're
Okay.
paying for is not your hours, they're paying for a transformation in themselves and you to hold them accountable to that.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. I did. So I'll throw this up in my Facebook and I'll send you a link in the text so you can go back through that. But we would need a flyer. I would like you to, I think it would help you to map out the 4 months, the four different, not the 4 months. Yeah. Well, the four different events. Because in that way, and if you have a flyer, I can send that out to groups. Elaine can send it out to groups. We can start to push people. I don't know how many we're going to get to you for this first event. I want to try to get a couple people to you. I have it on my calendar to come down and help map out the virtual piece. And what I need to do is to map out how that virtual stuff happens so that either you can do it or you can pay one of the knights who's in Maryland to do it. Because my work is amping up to the point, like when I come down, there will be times where I have to actually go and serve my clients.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and so I want to get it to a point where somebody else can pick that up and take it over. So, it
Perfect.
might even be Leah, if you could figure out if we can get enough people in. I think she's only making $500 a week as a substitute teacher. If
Okay.
you could pay her $500 to be there, um, that gets her there, and
Right.
she would be there anyway because of the school. You
Okay.
know,
All right.
eventually somebody at the school could be running Reiki week for you. Frankly,
True.
the
That's true.
kids. You know.
Yeah.
Michaela could do it, but I don't know, unless the other thing is just do keep in the back of your mind. I've put this intention out there that part of Michaela is going to present on Saturday afternoon, Bundles of Love at the party.
She's making a PowerPoint presentation. Is that okay?
I'll double check with Cam today to make sure that she'll have the capacity for that. Probably will.
Yeah.
Um, and she should have just the highlights of what it is, what she's achieved, and how those kids can get involved and start their own chapter.
Hey, I gotta scoot. I gotta get those two are in there having a hissy. Michaela's still sleeping, but Gabe and Finn are going at it. So I guess I left them in there too long.
The last little tidbit I want to just remind you, in case I don't know that I've ever said it this clearly to you, I want you to be looking at Cambria and Cam and the energy of what she's creating as Michaela's potential high school.
Yeah, I already told Michaela that.
Okay.
And
Good.
so she got that in the back of her mind. I mean,
Okay. Yeah, and the way that we're going to pay for that first year is I'm going to give Cam the $25,000 worth of services to build the virtual component so that Michaela can do that.
okay.
Which she wants to be able to offer that to her students. So I'm going to build that with her and on behalf of Michaela, and Michaela will not have to pay tuition the first year.
Okay. Cool. All right, let's see what shakes out. Hoping that shifts energetically. Right now, she's got in her mind something different, but you never know how.
And I don't need her to do it. I trust that if she's supposed to be working, when she meets some of those kids
Yeah.
and she sees the freedom they're going to have. In fact,
Yeah.
I'll get Cam to send me her, she takes them through this dream session. So I might ask Michaela to just do it. It just maps out what they're interested in.
Right.
So that when
Okay.
she's out there, Cam can talk with her about what a learning plan would look like for her.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
Okay, good. I will send you this link.
Enjoy your lesson tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Hey, are you teaching tonight or Thursday?
Tonight. Yeah, tonight.
Okay. I'll see you tonight then.
All right. Cool. Bye.